The Flame in the Flood is a roguelike survival game by the Molasses Flood that was funded on Kickstarter and has recently emerged from Greenlight for retail release. You play as Scout, a young girl surviving in a post-apocalyptic American South with a faithful canine companion Aesop. Together you struggle to survive in a desolate world by travelling down a mighty Mississippi-esque river, stopping along the way to search for supplies. The survival game genre has become a bit of a wide spectrum at this point, and the best way to describe where The Flame in the Flood sits on this spectrum would be to say that it blends DayZ's health and resource management systems with Don't Starve's gathering and crafting system. However, the game differentiates itself from other survival games as it incorporates endless runner-type mechanics into its gameplay to create a rather unique survival game experience. The procedurally generated world is made up of a string of small enclosed areas that are connected via the aforementioned river. The main gameplay loop involves navigating your raft down the river, stopping at different areas to scrounge for resources before moving on. Different areas are more likely to have different supplies. For example, a church is more likely to have alcohol, rags, and a secure building to sleep in, whilst a fishing shack is more likely to have fishing line and hooks. It's a neat system as it allows for you to plan your next move depending on what resources you're searching for. These areas are all rather scarce and only have a limited amount of supplies, which means that if you want to survive, you will need to keep exploring new areas. This is where the endless runner elements come in and what makes the game stand out in the survival game genre. You can only travel downriver, so going back to an already visited area isn't possible, which means that you're constantly forced to move on to unknown territory. Therefore, you can't establish a base camp and you can't squirrel away supplies. You can store a limited amount of supplies on your raft and in your pack. However, food expires and resources are limited, so you need to keep moving forward and exploring, or else you will soon die and have to start over again. The game goes deep into the survival aspects, with many factors having an effect on your character. You've got your basic health, hunger, thirst, and stamina meters that deplete at their own standard rates. However, you can also be affected by ailments such as soaking, bleeding, and sickness that affects the depletion rate of these meters. An example of this is getting caught in the rain will soak your clothes if you don't get to a fire in time to dry out, which can make you cold, which eventually leads to sickness. Or you can get the scoots by eating too much fruit. The numerous interconnected health systems are great for survival game enthusiasts, but might be a bit intimidating to those that aren't as familiar with the genre. The game has plenty of charm and character in almost every aspect, from the cut-back stylish aesthetics to the charming southern flavor text of item descriptions. Also, the music is really great, with slower moments accompanied by atmospheric, melancholy ambience, and more adventurous moments being punctuated with the powerful country acoustic ballads. Overall, The Flame in the Flood is a deep, challenging, and oftentimes heartbreaking experience with great presentation, solid controls, and interesting systems. Survival game enthusiasts will appreciate the depth and the difficulty, however genre newcomers may feel overwhelmed. Yet the game does a decent enough job of explaining its systems, so that anyone interested in the surface level appeal of the game may soon find themselves deeply invested in the tale of Scout and Aesop's survival.